Hi, I'm Dianne from GoNaturalEnglish.com, your personal English coach and motivator. Where did you grow up? How many siblings do you have? What do you do for work? What do you do for fun? I've noticed that a lot of you guys have commented saying that you don't know where to start practicing speaking English. I know it can be intimidating, but it is not impossible. English conversation starters may be difficult to think on the spot if you're an English learner. That's why it's very important to practice. Today, I'm going to share with you my top 10 questions that you can use to start a conversation or keep a conversation going. Maybe you're in the middle of a conversation and you don't know where to take the conversation. You're trying to think, what else do I ask? If you keep these questions in mind, practice saying them, memorizing them, then you can make use of them next time you find yourself having a conversation with an English speaker. Stop what you're doing and sign up for my best English fluency tips sent directly to your email inbox. You want an easy and fast way to speak natural English? It just takes 10 seconds to sign up by clicking the link in the description below or at GoNaturalEnglish.com. And if you like these English tips that help you become fluent faster, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Just a few misconceptions. You may think that to start a conversation for the first time that you have to be a very advanced English speaker, but that's not true. You may also think that, man, I can understand when I hear English, but I just can't speak it. You will never know if you're good at it or not, if your English is good enough or not, if you don't give it a shot. So I suggest you watch this video as many times as you need to practice pronunciation, to practice memorizing the questions and the answers, so that next time you find yourself starting a conversation with someone, you have good questions in mind. I will go over some general questions and conversation starters that you can use, but you can also think of the questions that you're more interested in. Jot them down, practice saying it, and practice answering those questions. Here are my top 10 questions to get you started in an English conversation. What do you do for fun? A good answer could be, I like to go hiking, I like to go to the mall, I like to hang out with friends, even go on some random road trips. What about you? This last question is great to get to know the other person. You can say, what about you? Or, and you? These two questions help you get the conversation, keep it going so that you don't get stuck just answering and you don't know what to say. You might want to ask the other person about themselves. And if you don't understand 100% of what they're telling you, it's okay. Just keep going. If you know what to ask, like what does hiking mean? You can ask. That's totally fine. Or what is the mall? What do you do at the mall? You can ask. That's totally fine. But if you don't feel comfortable asking, just move on to the next question. What do you do for work? An answer could be, I work as a barista at Starbucks. I make coffee all day and I enjoy meeting new people. You can go into detail about what you do for work if you're really passionate about it, and maybe you can make some connections with the person that you're talking to. Networking is great when you're starting to learn English. It's a great way to meet people and find maybe work opportunities, who knows? How long have you been in the US? This question is key. It's the most popular question that you will hear among other English speakers. We all want to know where we're all from so that we can build a friendship, a relationship, and it's easy to answer. For example, I've been in the US 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. The answer is super simple, so it's not a scary question. How have you adapted to the US? Depending on your situation, you might say, it's been a little bit difficult not being around my family, but I know that being here is for the best. This question is also a great way to find out more about the other person so you can find some common ground. It's also the best way to feel like there's another person who is an English learner. I suggest starting conversations with other English learners so you don't feel intimidated if you were to speak with someone who maybe was born here or has been here a long, long time. And these last two questions, they always lead to other questions, so it's probably not very likely that you'll get stuck in these questions, but just in case, let's keep going. Where did you grow up? I grew up in Bogota, but I lived in several neighborhoods growing up. And then you can ask, did you grow up in the city or in the countryside? When you ask a question where you have one or two options, it's going to be much easier for you to understand the flow of the conversation, although it's not great to limit the question to just two answers. But if you're a beginner, it's a great way to keep track of the conversation so you don't get lost. What type of music do you like? I like all kinds of music, especially Spanish music or a little bit of country, a little bit of everything. A great follow-up question would be, what is your favorite song or your favorite genre? And this way you can see maybe you have some commonalities in the music. Once you find common ground with a person, then the conversation is probably going to keep going longer than you think. And the point of these questions is to see which of these questions can lead to finding out something that you have in common with someone else, and your English will be secondary. You'll feel comfortable and you won't have to think as hard how to get it started because you already did. How many siblings do you have? This question is very, very easy. So like I said, if you ask questions that lead to shorter answers, it's great for a beginner to help you get comfortable asking questions and understanding the answers. So very simple. I have 2 siblings. I have a brother and a sister, and you can go into detail about your brother and sister. Are you married? Do you have any kids? So you can say, I have a husband and 2 kids. Another way to find commonalities between someone else, and it's a short answer so that you don't feel like if I ask something that is a long answer, I may not understand. So I'm giving you a mix of long answers and short answers depending on what you feel comfortable with. What is the food like where you're from? You can say, if you're from Colombia, we always say, we always eat a lot of bread, a lot of pastries, of rice, beans, chicken, plantains, so much food. And my favorite thing to eat is empanadas. Have you ever had an empanada? So it's great to ask a follow-up question after you answer yours. You don't always have to say, and you? What about you? You can ask something about what you already said to keep the conversation going. What is your favorite travel destination? I like to go somewhere where there's sun, waves, and I don't have to do anything but relax. I love this question because you can find out what kind of activities the other person likes doing. Usually you will answer with, I like the beach or I like the city because so and so and so. So once you say the destination, you can go into what you like to do so you can share more about yourself and find a follow-up question to ask, such as, do you like the beach? What is your dream job? For example, I dream to become the top salesman in my company and manage a team of other salesmen. What did you go to school for? I went to school for marketing, but I love sales. It's one of those short questions to ask if you are still a beginner. So just keep in mind, what questions do I want to ask about that I know I'm confident I will know the answer to, or if you feel comfortable, ask open-ended questions so that the conversation goes and flows and you feel confident in your English to do so. And these are my top 10 questions to ask. These are great icebreakers to get a conversation going. And if you like other questions that are more interesting to you, just make a list. Make a list, maybe comment down below. I have read a lot in the comments that you have group chats and Facebook groups. You could start there. You can maybe pick a person to talk to and start texting or messaging, and eventually you can get to the point of maybe doing a phone call and practicing your English. I always found more useful and helpful when I talk to someone who's also an English learner, maybe someone who's a little bit more advanced than myself, so that I can learn from that person. I suggest writing these questions down or making up your own questions and practice your pronunciation and practice your answers so that next time you feel more confident and more prepared to start a conversation with an English speaker. And don't miss free Go Natural English tips at gonaturalenglish.com/email. If you'd like to continue learning, please don't forget we have an online English course that will help your English get to the next level. That was my time. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.